Hey, what's going on, guys? SeeJayAre here, and these are my favorite movies of 2015.
Team Canada.
Hey, what's going on, guys? SeeJayAre here with my 2015 favorite movies of the year. This is the third time I've tried to attempt to make this video. I'm gonna keep it really short and sweet. I'm just gonna talk about each movie for a minute. I started filming this, and before I knew it, I was on my second film. I was 15 minutes in already, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. If you want to see a more in-depth review of these movies, obviously this isn't where you're gonna come. These are my favorite 10 movies of the year. Not necessarily what I would consider the best 10. If I was doing the best or top 10 movies of 2015, the order might be slightly different, but there's certain movies that I would consider a fantastic movie, but I might just personally like a movie slightly better, so it might be higher in the list. So just keep that in mind. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorite movies of 2015, or what your favorite movie of 2015 is. I'm going to get right into this. My 10th favorite movie of 2015 is Concussion. Concussion stars Will Smith, Alec Baldwin, and what's his name? Albert Brooks. Basically, an African doctor comes over to the States and he's working as a pathologist here. Really smart guy. I'm trying to think of his name. Dr. Bennett Amalu. This is a completely true story. Basically, the doctor finds that the repetitive impact, the repetitive stress injury is concussing NFL players and causing a whole bunch of messed up stuff in their brain, clots and stuff like that. So the movie is basically about Dr. Bennett Amalu discovering this defect in NFL players that's causing them to die and commit suicide and basically go crazy at an age that it shouldn't be happening. So the movie is about Dr. Bennett Amalu challenging the NFL, which comes with a whole bunch of issues because the NFL is a huge corporation and it's an American staple. People are not happy about him publishing these findings, and they try and discredit him. It's really a fantastic movie. I actually wasn't that excited to watch this movie. I'm glad I did. Will Smith is fantastic. The thing with you're gonna hear a recurring theme here is believable characters. In the first 5 minutes, you'll see Will Smith using an African accent. And you see him as Will Smith. Another 5 minutes down the road, you've already forgotten that that's Will Smith, and you totally believe that it's Dr. Bennett Amalu. Will Smith is fantastic in this movie, and really, this is one of those cases where the actor can kind of make a movie. I don't think this movie would have been that high on my list if it weren't for that performance. So highly recommend you go see Concussion. Concussion is my number 10 movie of 2015. My number 9 movie of 2015 is The Revenant. The Revenant is about Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name is Hugh Glass. He leads a fur trading expedition out into the wilderness in the 1800s, and he's mauled by a bear pretty badly. And that scene is one of the craziest scenes that you'll ever see in film, definitely this year. That bear scene, I don't know how they did it. Probably a mix of CG and real life, an actual bear. But the scene is really something to see. So anyways, he's mauled by this bear. He's leading this expedition of about 10 men. They try and save him at the beginning. It's really tough conditions, so he's kind of dragging them behind. So they appoint 2 men to look after him, and basically one of those men is Tom Hardy. DiCaprio's son, who's half native, is with them. I'm just gonna try not to spoil this too much, but a lot of this was the stuff I've already mentioned was in the trailer. Basically, they end up leaving DiCaprio's character for dead, and the entire movie is about DiCaprio's struggle to make it back to civilization, and then it turns into a revenge story for the character that made the choice to leave him behind and also did something else to him, which I don't really want to mention. This movie's a little bit lower on my favorites list. I'm not exactly sure why. Really, the whole movie is just a survival film. Not a whole lot happens plot-wise. It's basically, like I said, it's just about him bring himself back from dead. Basically, the bear really destroyed him. So DiCaprio is absolutely fantastic. I don't know if this is his best performance, but it's definitely up there. I'm not sure if he should win Best Actor for this. I think there was probably some better performances this year, so he might get shut out once again. Tom Hardy, absolutely fantastic. I didn't even really realize it was Tom Hardy until almost the end of the movie. Another character that I really like is Domhnall Gleeson. Gleeson's going to show up in another film that I'm going to mention here. I believe it might be next or the one after. Really fantastic actor. I'll talk about him more when we get there. The thing that makes this movie a must-see is the cinematography. This is some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in any film. I actually heard that they use all natural lighting, so they use lighting from the sun, fire, completely natural shadows. They used no studio lighting to get these shots, which is absolutely crazy. For the cinematography alone, this movie is worth watching. It's filmed predominantly in the Canadian Rockies, so really beautiful scenery. Anyways, my number 9 movie for 2015 is The Remnant. Number 8 on my list this year is Ex Machina, I believe it actually is pronounced. Sci-fi film. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. This movie is really kind of Stanley Kubrick-esque. It only stars pretty much like 3 characters, I would say. Again, Domhnall Gleeson, the guy that I mentioned from The Revenant, is the main character in this movie. He's sent out to kind of a compound of this really ultra-rich, genius tech type guy, played by Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac in this is definitely the best role. He's absolutely fantastic in this movie. But like I said, Domhnall Gleeson. Domhnall Gleeson was in a romantic comedy. That's where I first saw him. About Time, where he played a time traveler. He can go back in time. And I think, was it Rachel McAdams? I think was in the movie. Fantastic movie. Great actor. He's really good. Girl who plays the robot, I forget her name. She's really good too. Basically, the movie is about artificial intelligence. He goes to meet this ultra-rich genius guy, Domhnall Gleeson's character. His name's Caleb. I'm just looking. I have IMDb open here right now just so I can remember the names of the actors in the movie. He goes to meet this character. He's actually recruited by this ultra-rich, the character played by Oscar Isaac. He's recruited to come out and see this. I can't remember. I don't think he actually knows why he's going out there in the first place, but he's introduced to this AI character, and there's a big interaction between them. The AI character begins to have an affinity towards Domhnall Gleeson's character, and that interaction's really interesting. So there's a whole interaction of them talking behind Oscar Isaac's character. There's like a big brother thing. He's always watching them. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, Ex Machina, really good, really good sci-fi movie. Like I said, very Stanley Kubrick-esque. Number 7 on my list is Mad Max. Mad Max may be my favorite action movie, at least in the past 10 years. It's a absolutely fantastic movie. I don't think anybody thought that this movie would be this good. It's easily the best Mad Max movie in my opinion. Again, cinematography, the explosions in this movie, just insane. A lot of practical effects. I think they use very little CG in this movie, so the practical effects is something I always appreciate. Again, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is probably my favorite actor right now. He was in another movie this year, actually, that didn't quite make my top 10, called Legends, where he actually plays 2 different characters, 2 brothers, kind of British crime bosses. Really good performance there. Tom Hardy's amazing. He's fantastic in this as Mad Max. Charlize Theron is the next character, the supporting actress in this movie. She's fantastic. This is a really over-the-top action movie. Really great villain. Lots of awesome explosions, like I said. The cars in this, the stuff that they came up with for the post-apocalyptic world is just gorgeous. The set design's fantastic. For a movie that's pretty much a non-stop action movie, you actually do care about the characters. There's a lot of plot twists intertwined with the action that make you really care about the film. So Mad Max is my 7th favorite movie of 2015. My 6th favorite movie of 2015 is Room. Not The Room, starring Tommy Wiseau, but just Room. Room is a film about a woman and her son who are being held captive. The woman was kidnapped when she was 16 or 17 years old, and she's being held in a garden shed that's been turned into like a compound, soundproofed, big door, lock on the door, and basically the woman and her son are being held captive for 5 or 6 years. It's in the trailer. They plan their escape, and the movie is about the 2 of them adjusting to life outside of being captive. The boy was born in captivity. He's got to get used to simple things like just sunlight. They have a small little window in the room where they're being held. And it's a fantastic film. The woman who plays the lead character, I believe she's just known as Ma in the movie. The woman who's being held captive. Brie Larson just won Golden Globe for Best Actress, I believe. So, really fantastic performance from her. But the thing that really stands out is the performance of the young child. I don't know how much acting experience he had, but it was really well done. This is the only movie I think this year that made me cry. It's tough watching these movies when you have two young kids, but it's very tough subject. Most people aren't going to get too excited about watching a movie about people being held in captivity, but it has a positive ending. So I kind of knew that going in. So. It wasn't as heavy as just because I knew where it was going as a film. So yeah, my number 6 film of 2015 is Room. My 5th favorite film for 2015 is The Hateful Eight. Quentin Tarantino's next movie. I'm a massive Quentin Tarantino fan. It's really tough for me to rank where this would be. I don't think it's not as good as Django Unchained. Kill Bill 1 and 2, it's not quite there. It's not Reservoir Dogs, not Pulp Fiction. But I mean, saying that is diminishing this film. It is absolutely amazing. Typical Quentin Tarantino, it's kind of a mashup of a whole bunch of different genres. Suspense, drama, comedy, Western. Like I said, in typical Quentin Tarantino fashion, you really can't put it into any one category. Performances in this film. Samuel L. Jackson, this is his best work probably since Pulp Fiction. He's kind of fallen off. It's interesting that Quentin Tarantino's able to bring some of these people along. Sometimes, in the case of like Christoph Waltz, who is in Django Unchained and Inglourious Bastards, he wasn't even an actor in North America. He was a German actor. He brought him along. Christoph Waltz is absolutely amazing, and he was brought here by Quentin Tarantino. We know him because of Quentin Tarantino. He has a knack for finding characters. Kurt Russell in this movie. Fantastic. I can't remember the last time Kurt Russell, actually I can, probably the last time he was in a good movie was another Quentin Tarantino movie, Death Proof, I believe it was. He was fantastic in that. He just has a knack for bringing characters in that typically people have thought are gone. John Travolta is another case. So my point is, Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, absolutely amazing. He's the main character. How do I explain this? It's a Quentin Tarantino movie, so the plot line is non-linear. It jumps kind of forward, back, and then forward again kind of thing. I don't even know how to explain this. Most of the movie takes place in one building. There's a very funny bit about a door. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. The comedy, there's a lot of funny moments in this movie. Heavy on the dialogue, which is absolutely fine with me. Quentin Tarantino movies are known for that. There'll be like 8 to 10 minute scenes of just pure dialogue with very few cuts, if any, which is absolutely amazing. Kevin Smith is another guy that does that. But yeah, I mean, plot-wise, it's got kind of a Western plot. It's a whodunit. I saw another review. I don't want to take credit for this, but they said they kind of compared it to Clue. It's like a movie version of Clue. Well, there was a Clue movie, which actually the Clue movie is actually pretty good. I'm rambling on here. It's a whodunit. Basically. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe the plot of this movie. I'm not sure I really want to. It's a whodunit that takes place in one kind of small building. A lot of fantastic dialogue. Tim Roth, I almost forgot about Tim Roth. Fantastic in this movie. Really good performances. Kind of a surprise performance at the end from somebody that you would never expect to be in the movie. Just kind of showed up. But yeah, my number 5 movie of 2015 is The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino. Number 4 is The Big Short. I saw the preview for The Big Short when I was seeing one of these other movies, and I really wanted to see it. The Big Short is about the financial crisis in the early 2000s. Hope I got early 2000s. This movie's got an amazing cast. Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt makes a bit of a performance in there. He's not in the movie a whole lot, but really good as always. It's about the financial crisis. Basically, there's a group of people, a relatively small group that foresaw what was happening with banks giving people mortgages who definitely shouldn't have had mortgages, caused the housing market to collapse and brought down basically the American economy. A group of people foresaw this and figured out a way to profit off of it and get filthy rich. So it kind of chronicles their process over the years of figuring out how to do this and then it goes right to the end. It's a pretty depressing movie to see what happens, but really good performances. Steve Carell kind of stood out to me. He was in the wrestling movie last year. Oh man, I can't remember. Let me know in the comments below. So you're used to seeing Steve Carell in comedies. It's really cool to see him in like a dramatic role. He's fantastic. Ryan Gosling he's good. He's plays like the cocky, good-looking guy, like he always does in these movies. Christian Bale's fantastic. He plays kind of like a social kind of recluse, a guy that's really good at numbers. They do a really good job of this movie of explaining the financial, like explaining what they're doing. There's actually points where they bring in famous people and they actually talk directly to the camera and explain how the financial aspects work. So you can kind of understand it. A movie like as I was watching this, I was thinking of Wall Street and how they kind of just threw around these terms, and for me, I was like, okay, what the heck does that mean? They do a really good job in this movie of explaining things. Definitely go see it. So number 3 is Spotlight. If I were doing, like I said, if I were doing my best movie of the year, Spotlight would win it. There are 2 movies that I just personally, I kind of enjoyed more than I did Spotlight. Spotlight is a fantastic film. It's about a group of, it's about a section of reporters at the Boston Globe. They're called the Spotlight Team. They do investigative journalism. Basically, they find out about a Catholic priest who molested some children in the Boston area, and it was covered up by the high-ups at the Catholic Church. They find out that there's multiple more cases. A lot more cases, and it's a bit of an epidemic, and they expose the Catholic Church and how they've covered this stuff up. True story, obviously. Really fantastic performances once again. Mark Ruffalo in this really stood out to me. I was surprised that he wasn't, I think that he should win Best Supporting Actor for that role. I thought he was great. Again, with the character performances, Michael Keaton in this is fantastic. It's amazing that you can just forget that he's Batman and the Birdman, and he does such a good performance that just kind of goes out the window, and he's not Michael Keaton, he's this character, which is a really tough feat for a guy who just kind of stands out after being in the films that he's been in. He's really resurrected his career. Michael Keaton in this is fantastic. Rachel McAdams, Liv Schreiber, and the guy who plays the guy that plays the lawyer, I think he's not getting enough mention. I think it's Stanley Tucci. But fantastic performances all around the cast, and these are the best acting performances of the year. In my opinion, Spotlight should win Best Picture for 2015 at the Oscars. My number 3 film of 2015, but probably the best film of 2015 is Spotlight. If you're gonna see one movie on this list, go see Spotlight. It's absolutely fantastic. My number 2 movie of 2015 is The Martian. The Martian, as I was saying, won Best Comedic Film, I believe, at the Golden Globes. It sounds ridiculous, but it actually is a really well-written, funny movie. It's got comedy, it's got sci-fi. Well, I guess it's not really based. It's more a realistic space movie, so not technically sci-fi. It's kind of sci-fi. Comedy, drama, suspense. Really fantastic. Ridley Scott film, so Aliens. He knows how to make a space movie. Again, some great performances. Matt Damon is the best in this movie. I'm trying to remember a recent performance where he's been this good. Might be his best performance since Good Will Hunting. Kristen Wiig is in this movie. You're used to seeing her in comedies. She's actually really good. Jeff Daniels, Jessica Chastain, fantastic. Michael Pena is in this. He was I originally saw him in Crash. I believe he played a cop in Crash. He's fantastic. Provides a lot of comedy. Michael Pena is a pretty funny guy. Fantastic actor too. And my favorite Hollywood crush, my main Hollywood crush, Kate Mara. I absolutely love Kate Mara. She was in House of Cards. She's in this also. So really good performances. Basically, the guy is on a mission to Mars. There's an accident. They think he's dead. He's not dead. And then the movie's about the NASA trying to go back to save him. Basically stranded at this space station on Mars and kind of left to die. It's a really kind of negative situation that his character is completely positive about the whole time. Really positive movie considering the circumstances that Matt Damon's character is in. And it just kind of chronicles how he is stretching out his rations to survive until they can try and come back and get him. So The Martian, absolutely fantastic. My number 2 movie of 2015. At number one, my favorite movie of 2015, I'm sure you know what this is, Jurassic World. Just kidding. It's Star Wars. Star Wars, absolutely love it. I saw it twice. I would go see it again right now if I went with somebody who hasn't seen it. I always enjoy that. I'm not going to spoil it here. I'm going to be very careful with how I talk about this in case you haven't seen it. Star Wars is a fantastic movie. Like I said, I don't know if it's technically the best movie of 2015, but it's my personal favorite. A lot of build up for Star Wars. It's been a while since the prequels. I think most people are trying to forget about the prequels. They were pretty bad. I actually enjoyed episode 1 a little bit. I think the pod racing stuff was pretty cool. Jar Jar Binks, I'm glad he's gone. But anyways, the prequels were pretty bad all around. This movie's kind of a reboot. It's kind of almost a bit of a remake of the first Star Wars: A New Hope. It kind of resets the universe while at the same time providing a lot of fan service. You get to find out what's up with Han Solo, Leia, Luke, C-3PO, R2-D2, all the old characters are there. They kind of had to kind of provide that to the hardcore fans just because we've been missing that since the original trilogy. So again, the key thing about this Star Wars movie is you care about the characters. In the prequel movies, nobody cared about Anakin Skywalker. They just weren't believable. Jar Jar Binks, even like Qui-Gon, they just weren't characters that you cared about. Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey, and this is fantastic. A fantastic character to bring to follow through the next three films. She's this next set of movies, Luke Skywalker. We still don't know whose daughter she is. She could be Luke's daughter, Han Solo's daughter, still kind of up in the air. One of the theories that I've actually heard is that she might be Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi's daughter. She has an English accent. It's interesting because one of the other main characters, John Boyega, who plays Finn, he's British, but they gave him an American accent. And she's British, but they left her with the British accent. So it could possibly be Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi's daughter. That's one of the current theories. Anyways, Finn. Finn was the one character in this movie I wasn't sold on at the beginning, but I really grew to like him. John Boyega, his character, he did a great job. He provided a lot of comedy to the film. BB-8 was fantastic. Kylo Ren, I like. I'm not the hugest fan of the Kylo Ren character, but I think he offers a pretty cool dynamic to the films. Basically, he's dark, but he's struggling with light, where it was the reverse of Luke, who was light but struggling with the dark side. If that makes any sense. The action in this movie, absolutely fantastic. A lot of practical effects. Poe Dameron, I forget the actor who plays that character. He's awesome. There was like 3 or 4 points in this movie where I actually felt like I could have just cheered out loud at the film. The part where Poe comes in with the rebels and he's flying the X-Wing and just being awesome, that part, I literally felt like I could just cheer. I originally saw it with the kids. Andrew absolutely loved it. I don't want to say a whole lot more about it. I could go on forever about the new Star Wars movie. It's my number one film of 2015. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm sounding like a broken record here, but yeah, Star Wars is my number one movie of 2015. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite movie of 2015 was. As always, you can find me everywhere at SeeJayAre, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. The links are in the description below. And thank you so much for watching. Until the next episode.